Losing a pet is like losing a piece of your heart. If you're struggling with grief, you're not alone. At mydogdied.com, we understand the pain and are here to support you. Visit us today and find comfort, guidance, and a community that cares. We received a letter from someone who has lost their pet and have allowed us to share their story so that it will help other listeners deal with the loss of their pet. Remember, if you like this video, please support us with a like, subscribe, and share.
Hello, friends. When I sat down today to read another letter sent to mydogdied.com, I prepared myself, as I always do, for the deep river of emotions that would flow. But Robert's letter, written with the tender heart of a man who had loved and lost, struck me in a way I wasn't quite ready for. Robert, a 70-year-old from Los Altos Hills, California, wrote to share the story of his beloved Buddy, a sprightly 3-year-old Norwich Terrier with a mind of his own and a soul that could light up any room. Robert's handwriting wavered on the page, almost as if the pen itself carried the weight of his grief. He told me how Buddy had come into his life when he was most in need, after losing his wife 2 years prior. Buddy wasn't just a dog, Robert wrote. He was the echo of laughter in an otherwise too quiet house. He was my reason to get out of bed in the morning. Buddy had a special spark. One of his most endearing traits was his uncanny ability to recognize himself in mirrors. Robert would often catch him pausing in front of the hallway mirror, tilting his head curiously, as if marveling at his own small, fluffy reflection. He knew, Robert wrote. He knew he was loved, and somehow he knew he was important. But life, in its unpredictable and sometimes cruel way, had other plans. A well-meaning relative visiting for the holidays thought that Robert, aging and sometimes frail, might be better off without the burden of an energetic young dog. Without Robert's consent, they arranged for Buddy to be rehomed. Buddy, confused and frightened, slipped out of the backyard of his temporary home and ran. Despite every effort to find him, flyers posted, social media alerts, endless walks calling his name into the twilight, Buddy was never found. The not knowing, Robert wrote, is sometimes harder than a goodbye. My heart broke in a way I didn't know it could. Robert stumbled across mydogdied.com one sleepless night, in the hollow hours when loneliness feels the loudest. He said finding the site felt like being wrapped in a warm, understanding hug. Here, he read stories of others who loved and lost, who mourned deeply, who understood that love like that never truly ends. It just changes form. As I read Robert's words, my throat tightened. I pictured Buddy, small, lively, impossibly smart Buddy, still somewhere, chasing butterflies or greeting strangers with that familiar knowing sparkle in his eyes. And I imagined Robert sitting by his window, whispering prayers to the evening sky, hoping Buddy was safe and warm, wherever he was. Robert ended his letter not with anger, but with gratitude. For 3 beautiful years, he wrote, I had the honor of being Buddy's person. No one can take that away. I set the letter down carefully, almost reverently. Sometimes grief feels like a bottomless well, but letters like Robert's remind me that love, even when it's marked with loss, leaves behind a kind of beauty that time cannot erase. If you're reading this and your heart feels heavy too, know that you are not alone. Love does not end when we lose the ones we cherish. It continues, in memories, in moments, and sometimes, if we're lucky, in reflections that smile back at us when we least expect it.
Your love for your pet never fades, and neither should your support. If you're grieving, don't go through it alone. Visit mydogdied.com or call us at 855-925-2658 and connect with those who truly understand. Healing starts here. Remember, if you like this video, please support us with a like, subscribe, and share. If you have a story that you would like to tell us, email us. Your stories at mydogdied@gmail.com.